Bones here. In today's video, I'll be covering spell power attainment through Witchcrafters. If you want explanations as to why I chose to do my combos this way or just want to see the list, I'll leave a timestamp to the deck profile below. We're going to start here with spell power attainment, which reads, add one card from your deck or graveyard to your hand that mentions spell counter in its text, except spell power attainment. Then, if you control a level 7 or higher endymion monster card, you can remove any number of spell counters from your field, and if you do, negate the effects of that many face-up cards your opponent controls, and if you do that, destroy them. You can only activate one attainment per turn. Now we're going to start here by activating it in the draw phase in order to get our spell power mastery. Go on to the main phase where we can then activate the mastery and get access into our Veer. Then we can special summon out the Veer because we've activated a spell card this turn, and then we can use its effect on summon in order to get the creation. Activate the creation and we'll be able to add the Terracotta to hand. Now we can activate the Terracotta in hand, get back the creation as we can also special summon the Terracotta. Then we'll use the effect of Terracotta in order to go into our pupils. Use the effect of pupils, copy the creation in hand, and then get ourselves the copy of Marka. Activate the Marka in order to get our wall, the Witchcrafter field spell, and then we'll be able to activate the field spell, use its effect on field in order to get ourselves the copy of Genny, and pitch the creation in hand. Now we can normal summon the Genny, use its effect, as we'll send the copy of Celebration for cost off of the field spell, and then we'll be able to bring out the Shmieta from our deck. Then we can activate the Shmieta, use its effect sending the Distortion as cost off of the field spell, as we'll then be able to bring out the new Genny, and now we can use the effect of the Genny in the graveyard, copy the Celebration, and go into our Vice. Now we'll be able to use the effect of Shmieta in the graveyard, which will also trigger the Vice, and this will be able to get back the Distortion as we're going to send away the Veer to the graveyard. Now we'll set the Distortion, use the effect of Pupils in the graveyard to put back the Celebration, and now we can get Celebration back to hand. Now we'll go on to our opponent's turn, and at any point during their main phase, we can use the effect of Pupils, copy the Celebration, as I'm also going to use the effects of Genny here, as well as the Vice Madam. I'm just going to get the effects out of the way so that you can see what they're supposed to do, but we're going to use the effect of Rilliona, get the effects of the Genny and the Vice Madam. The Vice Madam will get back the creation, the Genny will special summon out the Veer, and then the Rilliona will be able to special summon out Hain alongside the Seed for the bounce. Now for this next combo, I'd like to show off Witchcrafter creation, special summon out the Veer, then use its effect in order to get ourselves the copy of the Lacrima of Light. Now we can activate the Lacrima of Light, send away the copy of Genny, as we'll then be able to activate the Genny in the graveyard, copy the creation so that we can get Terracotta. Now we can special summon out Terracotta, get access into our pupils this way as we're going to use the effect of Terracotta on field, fusion summon out of pupils, and then use the effect of pupils in order to get ourselves the field spell. Now we'll be able to activate the field spell, use its effect in order to grab ourselves the copy of Shmieta, and then we can pitch the copy of Lacrima of Light. Normal summon the Shmieta, send away the copy of Celebration as cost, as we'll then be able to bring out the new Genny. Now we'll be able to activate the Shmieta, send away the copy of Veer, go on to the end phase, use the effect of pupils, put back the creation in the graveyard as we'll get back the copy of Celebration to hand in the end phase, and then on our opponent's turn during the main phase, we can use the effect of pupils here as we'll be able to copy the Celebration so that we can fuse away into our Rilliona, and then we have the effects of Rilliona as well as the Genny. The Genny will be able to bring back the Veer, and then we can special summon out our Genny, Shmieta alongside the Hain, and keep in mind if you would like to, you can bring out Witchcrafter Seed, but by bringing out Genny and Shmieta, you now have access to bringing out your Witchcrafters whenever you want to. Now this third combo features a different build than I'll be taking, but I think it's good to cover it for my explanations in the deck profile, and we're going to start here by activating the spell power attainment. The Exodia arm is just any other spellcaster in hand, as we're going to use the spellcaster mastery in order to get our copy of the Regulus, and then we can special summon out the Regulus, revealing the extra spellcaster that we have in hand, get ourselves the Empire. Now we can activate the Empire, get ourselves the copy of Veer, and then we can special summon out the Veer, use the effect of Veer, as we're going to get ourselves the copy of Creation. From here we'll be able to go into our Artemis, link away into our link to Endymion, then we can use its effect in order to equip the Artemis, activate the Artemis in order to get the Spenta, then we can activate the Spenta. This will give us access into the Zoroa, and we'll summon out the Zoroa, and we'll use its effect in order to equip another card here as we're going to revive the copy of Spenta, or the copy of Regulus, I'm sorry, as we're now going to go into the Chorizo. We'll go into the Witcat, use the effect of Witcat as we're going to send our Fairy Tale card so that we can get access into the Chronicler, but we're now going to use the effect of the equip spell as we bring back the Match Lily, use the effect of the equip spell so that we can go into the Teller, then go into our copy of the Summon Sorceress, special summon out that extra spellcaster, then bring out our Hain. Now we can go into the Demod, use the effect of Demod in order to get our Gaze of Timaeus, and now we'll be able to go into our Four Charmers, activate the creation. We'll then be able to get our Terracotta. We'll then special summon out the Terracotta in order to get back our creation as well. Then we'll be able to use the effect of Terracotta here, fusing away the Chronicler alongside the Pupils. Use the effect of the Four Charmers in order to bring back the Chronicler or the Teller alongside the Regulus, and then we'll be able to use the effect of Pupils in order to copy the Creation and get ourselves Marka. Now we'll be able to activate the Marka, get ourselves the copy of the Witchcrafter field spell, then activate the Witchcrafter field spell. This will give us the ability to use its effect for the Genny, and then pitch the Creation, as we'll then special summon out the Genny. Now we'll be able to use the effect of the Genny, banish the 4 Charmers, as we'll be able to special summon out the other Genny, and then use the effect of Genny, send away the Celebration for cost, as we'll then be able to take the Shmieta out of our deck, and then use the effect of Shmieta, send away the Distortion as cost, as we're then going to special summon out the Seed, use the effect of Seed, get back the Spellcaster to hand if you would like to, and then we can use the Shmieta, send away the copy of Vare, and then use the effect of Genny in order to copy the Celebration so that we can go into our copy of Vice. Now we'll be able to set the Gaze of Timaeus onto the end phase, be able to use the effect of Pupils, putting back the Celebration in hand, use the effect of the Vice Madam, as well as we're going to get back the Creation to hand as well as the Celebration. And now we do have the same things that we had in the previous combos where we can go to our Rilliona and have the Vice Madam live and everything, but you'll notice that because we took the approach with all these other cards featuring Regulus, Empire, Fairy Tale cards, we ran out of space, so how you play it is dependent on what your opponent does. Because Spell Power Attainment searches Spell Power Grasp, we now have more ways to get into the best starter of the deck. One of the first things you might notice is the lack of Regulus, and I was hoping this video would make the point that when you combo with Witchcrafters, all your monster zones get clogged. Even with the 6-to-1 ratio of Spell Powers and Vare, it's easy to shuffle back Vare into the deck through Celebration. When playing Regulus, you end up with an extra body that makes you take varying approaches through link plays or a rank 4, and it felt win more with the clashing of clunky cards through the Witchcrafter names and the engines that would accompany it. With Spell Power Attainment, playing pure Witchcrafter feels the most consistent it has ever been. It's a clear and obvious end goal. If I were to play Regulus, it would likely end up taking away spots from Witchcrafter cards and gearing towards a Spellcaster pile deck, which would defeat the purpose of running Attainment at all outside of potential 60 card lists. Pure Witchcrafters can now play reasonable ratios with a clear direction in mind, which is something I felt was missing when I had covered this deck in the past and looked at other lists from the OCG since. Without Attainment, people played Regulus, which often led to the deck having diverging lines and hands more reliant on freestyling or just hoping that you didn't brick. This Attainment, I hope to show that you can now play pure Witchcrafters as a strategy. It feels like it's gotten the support it needed to make it cohesive. To the card by card, we have the 3 Attainment, the 3 Mastery, the 3 Creation, the 3 Wall, the 1 Terraforming, the 1 Called By, the 2 Lacrima of Light, the 2 Celebration, 1 Distortion, the 1 Vare, the 1 Hain, we then have the 1 Shmieta, the 1 copy of Genny, the 1 New Genny, we then have the 1 Terracotton, the 1 Seed, 1 copy of Marka, the 1 Vare, we then have the 3 Gallant, the 3 copies of the Charmy or the Fualos, then have the 3 Super Poly, the Fallen and the Virtuous, 1 Gorgon, the 1 SP, the 1 IP, the 1 Akashic Magician. I chose to go with generic links just because what you're doing most of the time is going into your Spellcaster fusions and then having the ability to access your Witchcrafter cards, which kind of do the work themselves. But then we have our Super Poly targets with the Mixosa, which is really good in this deck because you have the ability to easily make one of your Witchcrafter fusions with it. We have the Garura as well as the Mud Dragon, and then we have the Ecclesia and the Albion for the Fallen and the Virtuous package. Onto the options, things like Ash Blossom could help against Charmies because you do special summon from the deck quite a bit through the Genny, the Shmieta, the Rilliona also special summons from deck, and you have the other links that you can play as well, which I don't recommend because once you start going into a more heavier combo build, you start going into other engines that have their own bricks. It doesn't feel as consistent, even if it can help you play through hand traps a little bit more consistently. There's things like Dragoon as well with the Dark Magician of Destruction. If you want to play the Gaze of Timaeus over 1 Lacrima of Light or something like that, you can do that. And we have the Chorizo. Again, this is just one of those combo cards if you play the Magistus engine, which I don't recommend unless you go 60. But with all of that out of the way, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments or suggestions, feel free to leave them down below, and if you could leave a click of those thumbs up and subscribe buttons, it would really mean a whole lot as they go a long way in supporting the channel. Anyways, it's Bones, signing out.